Alright, welcome back. This is the second edition graduation cap decorating DIY on this channel. Today we are making a cap for my sister Gabrielle. I'll be leading you through a travel-inspired graduation cap. Gab loves to travel and I love to draw, so we work together to piece this idea on paper. These first few clips were at Michael's. I want to show what papers we use because I chose to not put the paint directly on the cap. We took some sketchbook paper and a little thicker white paper. We weren't too sure of what map we wanted to use yet for the top, so we chose these three so we could see them all cut out and laid out. So now we're in the paint section. All you need is acrylic paint. You don't need any color in particular. I just grabbed this small pack of like a variety set and this bigger one of black and white just because I needed it. But what the hell's that frog doing there? Now we're going to cut the paper to align it to the size we want for the cap. Just in case we couldn't line up the paper perfectly to the cap, I cut a little extra border so you could see some black. But you could do whatever you choose. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this. This is Kristen, just in case you don't know that, not Gab. Now this is probably one of the harder parts of the cap. We couldn't figure out what map to put on the top. We asked a bunch of people and we didn't get a full answer, so it took Gab a while to figure out which one she wants, but you'll see we went with the lighter blue and green one. So accidentally I drew the sketch of the bridge before filming it, so this is just a little zoom in of the bridge. I'm making just the outline and just a rough sketch. I kind of put a lot of detail on the bridge and I realized later to not do that, so I'm just taking a little bit of time, spacing everything out, making sure nothing's too crammed or hitting each other, and just using a ruler and just a straight up HB pencil. You could choose any destination or location you want. We went for a good variety, ones that Gab wants to visit and plan to see. Also, shout out to my Hocus Pocus sweatshirt. It was a little chilly outside, so they warmed me up. So this is just a little overview. It shows what places and destinations we chose. So we chose 7 different structures to put on the cap, and here I am starting off at Sydney. We wanted to do the Opera House, and I connected these two by making the water also be the sky of the other scenes so they didn't look too out of it. I tried to make it more of a collage effect, so I edited it first on my phone and saw where I could put stuff to not make it look too out of place. Before I drew anything, I took photos from Google and I just put it digitally through an app, and I edited it on a fake cap just to see what the layout would look like. As I paint throughout the whole cap, you'll see sometimes I have my reference photo on my phone, and that's just for me to look back on to see what colors and where to match, and to make sure the scale of the piece makes sense and it doesn't look too exaggerated or too small. Now I'm working on the blue and white cathedral domes in Greece, Santorini. These are probably one of my favorites. They're so beautiful. I would love to see them in person. Hopefully one day that comes true. Let me know if you've been there before. As this video goes on, you'll see I do pay a lot of attention to detail, and I may go into it a little bit too much, but I really wanted to get everything perfect. So again, obviously, if you don't want to do that, don't go for it. I bet it'll look great however you want to do it. That's just the way I chose to go for it. Anybody else thinking about Mamma Mia right now, or is it just me? Now we move on to Niagara Falls, Canada. It's pretty fun. This is the first place that I'm drawing that we've actually been to. As you can see, I start with the darkest points of the water, and then I continually add texture and light with the lighter colors. So it's all about the way that you use the brush. Use the brush to show the strokes of water, and then my secret at the end is to take a padded brush, put it in white, and then tap it on a paper towel, and then just put that right on the water, and it makes that look of flowing water. Next we move on to our home, New York. Gab loves the city, so we had to put 2 destinations of the city on here. So this first one's just a little snippet of the Empire State Building. I didn't know which way to go with this, if I should make it black and white color, so I just made a whole wads of different shades, kind of neutrals, and I went for it from there. You can probably notice this one will have a different style than the others because I choose to add ink in it. So now we're moving to Big Ben for England, and I start by laying out the base color of just a plain brown and a little bit of like a greenish gray sort of, and I just add detail on top of that and all different shades building off that color. If you really just add different shades of the same color, it would really add a lot of detail and effect and dimension. Next, one of my favorite, Leaning Tower of Pisa. This one was a lot of fun, but a little stressful because it has a lot of detail. Although it didn't require many colors, just a lot of shading, it had a lot of detail. So as you can see, I got a little crazy. I didn't have a small enough paintbrush that I wanted, so I actually used a toothpick to make some of the dips of the dome and the archways. If you have a small enough paintbrush, that's awesome, but I did not, so I worked with what I had, and I saw some toothpicks. Just remember to wipe away the paint from the toothpick so you can keep the point, and just keep putting it back in the white color or any color you need. Now we move on to the second New York City destination. We chose the Manhattan Bridge because that's Gab's favorite bridge in the city. So as you can see, I did the sky again. This one doesn't have as smooth of a transition as the Empire State and Sydney did, but that's okay. You get the point. So I started with the sky, then I did the little grass and tree that you see a little snippet of, and then I just worked with the bridge, putting down the first shades, and as all the other ones, just adding on more layers on top, and as you can see, it gets the clear definition of what the image is. Out of all these locations, we've only been to 3 of them, and 2 being New York and the 1 being Canada. We'd love to go to Italy, Australia, England, Greece, literally anywhere we can, but right now with this pandemic, we're struggling. Either way, love to explore the world, can't wait to see what happens next. Now I'm writing down the words, and as you can see, she did not like the setup of them, so I erased it, but you know what, it's okay. So I just lined them up, and then I used this font type looking like a typewriter, and then I just pretty much hand wrote it all, so you just have to go for it. Or if you have stickers or something, you can do that too. To make clear and precise words, I just used the ink pen again instead of paint because the pen is more structured. The paint would be too loose and I couldn't have so much control on it, so I used ink pen. So this is the final product. I hope you like it. To connect the paper to the cap, all we did was hot glue the edges and attach it to the cap and just firmly hold it until you think it's dried, and then move on to the next side. I also put some in the middle, but be careful, don't get too close to the circle where the tassel should go, because then the tassel string won't connect to that circle. And of course, I just had to do a little TikTok at the end here, and we have a little copyright issue, so if you want to go check it out, my username is Reese2530. I'd love to see you there. If you recreate this or make anything similar to it, I'd love to see it. My Instagram, I would love a DM. It's Reese2530, just like my TikTok. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Love you. Bye.